Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 31, The Descent. Is it time for the shuttle? Lin Yuan's heart leapt with joy. The shuttle capability of the door to the myriad realms wasn't without limits. It needed time to accumulate energy, which manifested as points being lit up one by one. When Lin Yuan returned from his first shuttle, he obtained related information from the door to the myriad realms. The illumination level of the door to the myriad realms was divided into three: the peripheral edge region, the inner region, and the core region illumination. Once the peripheral edge region was lit, shuttling could be performed, but only as a consciousness descent. If the inner region was lit, physical body shuttling was possible. As for the core region illumination, it was related to some kind of metamorphosis of the door to the myriad realms. The information Lin Yuan received only briefly described it. The three levels of illumination required increasing amounts of time. The peripheral region took about 8 months to a year to light up. Lighting up the inner region would take several years to a decade. As for the core region illumination, Lin Yuan speculated. It would likely require several decades or even centuries. Let's just go with consciousness descent. Lin Yuan wasn't particularly interested in physical body shuttling. Firstly, accumulating energy sufficient for a physical body shuttle took too long. Secondly, physical body shuttling had a very low margin for error. Death meant true death. In contrast, the cost-effectiveness of consciousness descent was much higher. However, some preparations are in order before shuttling. Lin Yuan steadied his mind and began to make arrangements. His main concern was to inform his parents that he might disappear for a while. Although there was a difference in the flow of time between higher and lower worlds, Lin Yuan wasn't sure what level the world he was about to shuttle into would be. If the flow of time wasn't significantly different, and he spent decades there while only a few years passed in the main world, it would be problematic. Once everything was ready, Lin Yuan left the underground training field and arrived in front of a room door. After this shuttle, I should be able to advance the martial path evolutionary path to the second layer. Then, after uploading it to the Goddess of Wisdom, the merit points I obtain should be enough to raise my citizen rank to level 3. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Half a year ago, Lin Yuan had uploaded the improved mythological chapter and carefree chapter of the martial canon. He received a reward of 3,000 merit points. Also, the martial path evolutionary path moved up in the Kanglin evolution ranking from 93rd to 78th. The Kanglin evolution ranking listed 100 evolutionary paths, which the Goddess of Wisdom ranked, using her vast computational power, based on their potential, popularity, difficulty of cultivation, and many other factors. When the martial canon only included the Grandmaster chapter and the Great Grandmaster chapter, it was ranked 93rd, but with the addition of the mythological chapter and the carefree chapter, its overall potential improved, naturally raising its ranking. One could predict that when the martial path evolutionary path advanced to the second layer officially, its ranking would rise to an even higher level. After all, the leap from first rank to second layer was a qualitative change of a great realm, a significant stride recognized by the cosmos and human civilization. In total, the upload of the martial path evolutionary path had provided Lin Yuan with 5,000 merit points. Advancing to a second rank citizen cost 1,000 merit points. 4,000 merit points remained. To go from a second-rank citizen to a third-rank citizen required 5,000 merit points. Let's start. Lin Yuan pushed open the door. He walked to a 2-meter-long nutrient pod. During Lin Yuan's first shuttle, he had no choice but to go through it due to the compulsory conscription looming over his head. Fortunately, he was lucky. Although he had spent 20 years in the martial world, only about 10 minutes had passed in the main world. But now, naturally, Lin Yuan wouldn't proceed without taking precautions. This nutrient pod, an item of military-grade quality, was something Lin Yuan had purchased through Mr. Liao's channels. Once activated, it could maintain functions for no less than 200 years. Meaning, as long as Lin Yuan lay in it, unless he chose to get up himself, the pod's nutritional substances could sustain Lin Yuan's bodily needs for 200 years. This gave Lin Yuan a great sense of security. At least he wouldn't return from the shuttle to find his body emaciated to skin and bones. Recalling the usage of the nutrient pod in his mind, Lin Yuan opened the hatch and lay down inside. Shuttle. Lin Yuan's consciousness merged with the door to the myriad realms deep in his mind. In an instant, an invisible suction force came. Lin Yuan felt his consciousness start to fall rapidly. Zhang family fort. The place was festooned with lanterns and streamers. What a joyful occasion. Everyone in the fort knew that Mr. Zhang's wife had given birth to an heir, and it was a boy. Before this, Madame Zhang had delivered 8 daughters in a row, and various gossips filled the air. Madame has worked hard. In the room, Zhang Kuan put down the infant in the swaddling clothes excitedly and looked toward the frail woman lying on the bed, speaking with heartfelt concern. It wasn't hard, my dear Zhang. This is our child. Madame Zhang's face was somewhat pale, but she still forced herself to sit up and cradled the swaddling clothes in her arms, her eyes filled with tenderness. The couple had a tender moment. Then Madame Zhang brought up a serious matter. Husband, that myriad demons sect has been restless lately and seems to be moving in our direction. Have you notified the Taoist from Dragon Tiger Mountain? Don't worry, my dear, Zhang Kuan said, patting his chest. I sent someone to deliver a message to Chongqing a while ago. He should be arriving soon. As Zhang Kuan said this, he paused for a moment then continued. Moreover, what is there to fear from the myriad demons sect? I, your husband, am also considered a first-rate expert in the martial community. How could I fear those demonic brats? As he spoke, Zhang Kuan's voice was filled with strong confidence. It seems this birth isn't bad. What Zhang Kuan and his wife did not know was that, while the two of them were talking, the infant being held in the swaddling clothes opened his eyes, revealing a depth that did not belong to his age. This infant was naturally Lin Yuan. From the brief conversation between his parents, Lin Yuan deduced that his father in this life should have a decent social status. At least at the time of his birth just now, there were no less than 5 midwives called in addition to over a dozen maidservants attending. Any world you put that in, it's definitely not something ordinary people could afford. As he thought about it, Lin Yuan began to feel sleepy. When Lin Yuan opened his eyes again, he heard a cacophony of noise. The door was shut tight, but he could hear the sounds of fighting outside. His own mother was full of anxiety. What's going on? Lin Yuan opened his eyes wide. Weren't things going well just a moment ago? How did it turn into this? His mother saw Lin Yuan waking up, immediately came over to him, and with tears in her eyes, she said, Child, 8 helmsmen from the myriad demons sect have come to kill us, and your father has gone to fight them along with the fort's masters. We will definitely be able to fend off the myriad demons sect. As his mother held Lin Yuan, it was more like she was comforting herself than the child. A moment later, the door was pushed open. His father, Zhang Kuan, entered covered in blood. My dear Zhang, what's the situation outside? Mrs. Su Yun quickly asked. We can't hold them off. The myriad demons sect didn't just send 8 helmsmen, but there's also a protector hiding in the shadows. Our Zhang family fort is finished. Zhang Kuan's face was ashen. He had never imagined that to deal with his Zhang family fort, the myriad demons sect would actually deploy a protector. To become a protector of the myriad demons sect, one must at least surpass the level of a first-rate expert. What do we do now? After a moment of silence, Mrs. Su Yun asked. You two go. Zhang Kuan came to the back of the bed and gently tapped it, revealing a secret tunnel. This tunnel leads 10 miles out. Take the child and go far away. Never come back in this lifetime. After opening the tunnel, Zhang Kuan seemed to have lost all his strength and nearly collapsed to the ground. Let's leave together, Zhang. Let's leave this place together. Su Yun glanced at the tunnel and immediately said to Zhang Kuan, I can't go. Zhang Kuan shook his head. I was struck by the palm of the myriad demon's sex protector. My heart veins are shattered, and I don't have long to live. Zhang Kuan looked at Lin Yuan, his voice turning gentle. I even thought of your name. It was to be Shanfeng, to become the peak of our Zhang family fort. Sadly, there's no future now. After speaking, Zhang Kuan took out a jade pendant and tucked it into the swaddling clothes. The pendant had 2 characters engraved on it. Shanfeng. Having done all this, Zhang Kuan looked up at his wife Su Yun. When the child grows up, don't tell him about his origins. Just let him live an ordinary life. Don't even think about avenging me. With that, Zhang Kuan pushed Su Yun into the tunnel. Chapter 32. 10 years. Through the tunnel. Mother Su Yun successfully left Zhang family fort. However, it hadn't been half an hour when the pursuers from the myriad demons sect arrived to kill. Clearly, the secret passage in the room had been discovered. Left with no other choices, Su Yun could only place Lin Yuan into a hidden thicket. I'll lead them away, and come back for you later. After saying this, Su Yun headed in another direction. As the wife of the first-class expert Zhang Kuan, Su Yun was naturally no ordinary person. Even just after childbirth, her strength was still above 3rd or 4th-tier experts, and her lightness skill was exceptional. However, 2 or 3 hours had passed, and Su Yun still hadn't returned. She probably won't be coming back. Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. If Su Yun had managed to shake off the pursuers, she surely would have returned by now. Her absence implied that she hadn't managed to elude the pursuers. The fate of not evading the pursuers need not be mentioned. Sigh. Lin Yuan let out a soft sigh. Just a moment ago, he had been the highly anticipated heir of Zhang family fort. But now he had nothing. This is troublesome. Lin Yuan furrowed his brows slightly. Now was not the time for regrets. The urgent matter at hand was how to survive. This time, Lin Yuan's situation was extremely difficult. As a newborn baby, Lin Yuan dared not make any significant movements. A newborn like him, if he left the swaddle, the only outcome would be to freeze to death. What about crying loudly to draw the attention of people nearby? Lin Yuan didn't know if the ones he might attract would be the demonic sex pursuers. Additionally, Lin Yuan's current environment seemed extremely remote with hardly any human presence. He feared that any slight noise might attract jackals, tigers, or leopards. To those fierce beasts, a human baby was nothing but a delicacy. What a pity. If it could be a few months later. No, just a few days. Lin Yuan felt somewhat helpless. With his against heaven's understanding, given time, Lin Yuan could quickly become stronger. The first time he traversed, Lin Yuan was only a 3-year-old child yet managed to comprehend the great Arhat Buddha fist and step into the innate realm. Though a baby's body had many limitations, it wasn't completely incapable of resistance. At least there would be some power to fight back. Soon, it was night. The temperature also began to drop rapidly. Even wrapped in the swaddle, Lin Yuan felt waves of cold. If it were any other baby, they might have already started crying by now. But Lin Yuan didn't, because he knew that once he cried, it would attract nearby beasts and then be carried away and eaten by them. However, even so, the innate milky scent of a baby was still faintly emanating. Before long, Lin Yuan heard rustling noises coming from the nearby bushes. Listening to the noise, it was clear that it wasn't made by humans. What to do? Lin Yuan's heartbeat began to speed up. If it wasn't a human that made the noise, then it must be a beast. Facing a beast, Lin Yuan was completely powerless. For to a beast, Lin Yuan was just a delicious meal, devoid of any sympathetic emotions. As the rustling noise continued to approach, Lin Yuan's breathing began to slow down. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan's gaze, suddenly noticed the dry leaves and twigs on the ground. This was the wilderness, full of plants, and dry leaves and twigs were everywhere. Staring at the dry leaves and twigs, dots of spiritual light suddenly surged in Lin Yuan's mind. You have against heaven's understanding. After observing the withered wood, you understand the withered wood breathing skill. Withered wood breathing skill. By utilizing a special breathing rhythm, conceal all traces of breathing, mimicking the form of withered wood. In an instant, Lin Yuan's aura continued to retract. The original faint milky scent vanished. Even Lin Yuan's skin, originally soft and fair, shifted towards the dark color of dried wood. From a distance, Lin Yuan looked like a piece of withered wood wrapped in a swaddle. Ooh! A few meters away, an adult wolf paused, sniffed the air, and emitted a confused low howl, lingered nearby for a while, and upon confirming there was no scent of food, the wolf had no choice but to turn away. In the swaddle, as Lin Yuan's breath disappeared and his consciousness remained, after hearing the rustling sound fade away, he let out a huge sigh of relief. Withered wood breathing skill? Lin Yuan maintained this concealment secret technique. Actually, regarding techniques to conceal one's aura, Lin Yuan had comprehended many during his first traversal. However, those techniques required the support of inner qi and primordial qi. And Lin Yuan, currently just a baby, possessed neither inner qi nor primordial qi. As for the newly created withered wood breathing skill, it simply used adjustments in breathing rhythm to achieve the goal of concealing one's aura. It was something Lin Yuan could manage at the moment. There's no immediate danger now. Lin Yuan kept surveying his surroundings, refusing to lower his guard. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, half a day had gone by. Lin Yuan felt a strong sense of hunger. Every cell in his body was screaming for food. You have against heaven's understanding and, tormented by hunger, you realized the hibernation breathing skill. Against heaven's understanding saved Lin Yuan once again. The hibernation breathing skill greatly reduced the bodily wear of Lin Yuan, and in combination with the withered wood breathing skill, made him no different from a true piece of withered wood. 2 days later, Lin Yuan clung to his last bit of consciousness. Just then, a Taoist in a Taoist robe descended from the sky. Someone's here. And a Taoist? Lin Yuan's spirit lifted. This was the first living person he had seen in 2 days. No matter. If I keep going like this, I'll really die. Lin Yuan quickly deactivated the withered wood breathing skill and the hibernation breathing skill. Although the hibernation breathing skill greatly reduced the bodily wear of Lin Yuan, it was only a reduction. As a newborn infant, surviving for 2 days was already the limit. To continue dragging this out, even the hibernation breathing skill wouldn't hold. With this thought, Lin Yuan gathered all his strength and cried out aloud. As the infant's voice sounded, the Taoist clearly heard it. Is it an abandoned infant? The Taoist looked to be middle-aged, his expression filled with weariness. Is it an abandoned infant from Zhang family fort? From the pattern on the swaddle, the Taoist guessed Lin Yuan's identity. This jade pendant? Is it Brother Zhang's jade pendant? Is this Brother Zhang's child? The Taoist's eyes suddenly moistened. He was Chongqing, who had received a letter from Zhang Kuan several months ago, saying he had discovered traces of the Myriad Demons sect. Chongqing immediately set out for Zhang family fort. However, he was ambushed by several protectors of the Myriad Demons sect on the road, which delayed him for several days. By the time he reached there again, everyone in Zhang family fort had already perished. Just as Chongqing was disheartened and about to return to Mount Longhu to report, he unexpectedly heard Lin Yuan's crying, and this infant was Zhang Kuan's son. Very good, very good. Brother Zhang's bloodline continues. Brother Zhang's bloodline hasn't been severed. Chongqing immediately picked up Lin Yuan, feeling him for a while. In Chongqing's view, an infant like Lin Yuan, left outside for half a day would probably freeze to death. Although he didn't know how long Lin Yuan had been there, the surrounding environment indicated it was definitely more than half a day. Therefore, Chongqing planned to use his own primordial qi to supplement the infant's origin source. Even though this act was a great consumption for him, Chongqing didn't care. Because his late arrival led to the massacre at Zhang family fort. If even the last bloodline of Zhang family fort couldn't be preserved, he truly couldn't face living in this world. There's no injury on the body? Chongqing was stunned. He discovered that the infant's body was very healthy, except for weakened vitality, probably due to hunger. There were no other major issues. Incredible! Chongqing murmured to himself. Child, from now on, you are a person of Mount Longhu. Chongqing held Lin Yuan in his arms. He immediately embarked on the journey back to Mount Longhu. At the Mount Longhu True Martial Hall, Chongqing stood before Master Cangqing, articulating everything that happened. Master Cangqing, the current sect leader of Mount Longhu's Celestial Master's Mansion, was a venerable figure in the martial world of his time. The current sect leader of the Myriad Demon sect is brilliant and strategic, having stepped into the celestial phenomena realm, which is why he commanded his disciples to raid the lands to assert demonic might. Master Cangqing spoke slowly. Soon he took over Lin Yuan from Chongqing's hands. Poor child. Master Cangqing sighed deeply. Mr. Zhang lived a heroic life. With his death at the hands of the Myriad Demon sect, our Celestial Master Mansion will definitely not let this go. By the way, has the child been named? Master Cangqing asked. I found a jade pendant in the swaddle engraved with the characters Mountain Peak. It must be the name Brother Zhang chose for the child. Chongqing said softly. Mountain Peak, Mountain Peak. All right, from now on, your name will be Zhang Shanfeng. Master Cangqing spoke slowly. That is how Lin Yuan came to reside on Mount Longhu. Initially, Chongqing was worried that Lin Yuan's crying would disturb others, but after spending a few days together, Chongqing found that Lin Yuan was extremely well-behaved. He never cried out. When hungry, he would just open his round big eyes and stare at him. He was unreasonably sensible. As for the infant's need for milk, there were many villages at the foot of Mount Longhu, which included women who had recently given birth. Chongqing would shamelessly ask these women for some breast milk, managing to barely keep Lin Yuan alive. In this way, 10 years passed. Chapter 33 Sword Tomb. Dragon Tiger Mountain, dusk. Lin Yuan, dressed in a gray standard Taoist robe, stopped in front of a large boulder. 10 years already. Lin Yuan sat on the boulder, falling into a brief contemplation. In 10 years, Lin Yuan had come to deeply understand this world. The cultivation system of this world was divided from the 9th grade to the 1st grade. The 9th grade was the lowest, the 1st grade the highest, and above the 1st grade was the Celestial Phenomena Realm. Practitioners of the Celestial Phenomena Realm were said to be one with heaven and earth, perceiving the vital energies of all things, capable of moving mountains and splitting stones with a mere gesture. Even within the Cosmic Human Alliance, they're considered a formidable second-layer combat power. From this aspect, Lin Yuan also confirmed that the hierarchy of this world was higher than that of the martial world he had traversed through for the first time. 70 more years to stay. Lin Yuan glanced at the illusory text below his line of sight. Name, Zhang Shanfeng Lin Yuan. Identity, holder of the Myriad Realms Gate. Bound talent. Against heaven's understanding. Current status. Consciousness descent. Residence time. 80 years. Perhaps due to the enhancement of strength and the different world ranking. This time, Lin Yuan's residence time had changed from 20 years to 80 years. Regarding this, Lin Yuan was quite satisfied. Naturally, the longer the residence time the better, under the background of consciousness descent. Celestial Phenomena Realm. Lin Yuan's eyes were slightly closed as he felt the slowly circulating true force within his body. In 10 years, Lin Yuan naturally hadn't been idle. With his against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan had cultivated to the 1st grade realm in just 3 years. That corresponded to the level of the free and unfettered realm in the martial world. Then, 5 years later, Lin Yuan smoothly stepped into the Celestial Phenomena Realm, becoming one of the top powerhouses of the current era. Of course, all of this was done secretly by Lin Yuan. The others on Mount Longhu were not aware. Still, I should keep a low profile. Lin Yuan breathed out softly, thinking to himself. The Mount Longhu Celestial Master's Mansion was the ancestral court of Taoism in the world, with unfathomable depths. At least, after Lin Yuan broke through to the celestial phenomena realm, he vaguely sensed that there were several spots within Mount Longhu that harbored a presence surpassing the celestial phenomena realm. Cultivate slowly. Since there's still plenty of time for this residency, there's no need to rush. As he thought this, Lin Yuan left from beside the boulder. Before long, Lin Yuan arrived at a Taoist convent halfway up the mountain. This convent was where the Taoist boys on Dragon Tiger Mountain lived. There were a total of 8 such convents throughout Dragon Tiger Mountain. The Celestial Master's Mansion normally didn't strictly supervise the Taoist boys. As long as they completed their daily lessons, they could do as they wished. Lin Yuan had only been back a short while when he saw numerous young Taoist boys, around his age, gathering together. Taoist Pingyang? Lin Yuan's eyebrows slightly raised. The one surrounded by many young Taoists at that moment was an elderly Taoist dressed in worn robes. This old Taoist usually loitered around Dragon Tiger Mountain, liked to mingle with the young Taoists, and the many Taoists of the Celestial Master's Mansion did not bother with him when they saw him. Over time, everyone became familiar with him. The reason Lin Yuan paid such attention to Taoist Pingyang was because this man was unmistakably a practitioner of the celestial phenomena realm. Mount Longhu Celestial Master's Mansion publicly announced only its Master Tsongqing to be a practitioner of the celestial phenomena realm. In fact, there were 3 practitioners of the celestial phenomena realm in the mansion. The somewhat unkempt Taoist Pingyang before him was one of them. Lin Yuan guessed that Taoist Pingyang was likely to be in a role similar to a protector. Only when the Celestial Master's Mansion fell into crisis would he appear. Old Taoist, who do you think is the strongest person in the world? Among the young Taoists gathered around Taoist Pingyang, a younger-looking Taoist boy asked in a milky voice. The strongest person in the world? Taoist Pingyang was slightly startled, then immediately laughed. That's naturally the successive celestial masters of our mansion. The Celestial Master Mansion has a heritage of 6,800 years, producing 36 heavenly masters, each an unparalleled genius, invincible in the world. Even those in the celestial phenomena realm must bow their heads in the presence of a heavenly master. Pingyang Taoist's tone slightly elevated, quite proud of himself. Upon hearing this, the other little Taoist disciples were all invigorated. After all, everyone was a Taoist disciple of the Celestial Master Mansion, and it was exhilarating to hear that their own heavenly master was unmatched under the heavens. Their hearts naturally filled with joy. So, who is the heavenly master of the Celestial Master Mansion now? Another innocent little Taoist disciple asked. As soon as these words were spoken, all the little Taoist disciples turned their eyes towards Pingyang Taoist, the current heavenly master. Upon hearing this, Pingyang hesitated but answered, Our generation of the Celestial Master Mansion has not yet produced a heavenly master. Pingyang Taoist had more to say but didn't. It wasn't just this generation that had failed to produce a heavenly master. It had been a full 500 years since a heavenly master had emerged. The Celestial Master Mansion had a heritage of 6,800 years, producing 36 heavenly masters. This meant that not every era would produce a heavenly master. Even so, generally at most 200 to 300 years would pass before a heavenly master emerged. But now, 500 years had passed since the last heavenly master passed away. Heavenly master! Not far away, Lin Yuan gazed calmly. Based on his understanding over the past decade, the true realm of the Celestial Master Mansion's heavenly master should surpass the celestial phenomena realm. As for how one becomes a heavenly master, it requires passing some kind of test. Exactly what the test entails, Lin Yuan did not yet know. This was among the core secrets of the Celestial Master Mansion, likely only accessible to those in the celestial phenomena realm. How to surpass the celestial phenomena realm? Lin Yuan's brow furrowed slightly. Since stepping into the celestial phenomena realm 2 years ago, Lin Yuan had felt his cultivation speed decrease significantly. At this rate, even with his against heaven's understanding, it would take Lin Yuan at least 50 years to break through the celestial phenomena realm. This was strange indeed. With Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, it would take 50 years to break through, but for others, even the most astonishingly talented, wouldn't it take at least 200 to 300 years, if not 500? Yet all the past heavenly masters that Lin Yuan knew of were not older than 100. Could there be a shortcut? Lin Yuan speculated quietly, glancing surreptitiously in several directions again. Those directions were where Lin Yuan had sensed the presence that surpassed the celestial phenomena realm. It is the mountains. Pingyang Taoist looked up at Lin Yuan and smiled. Counting the days in half a month, it will be the once every 20-year pilgrimage to the Sword Tomb. You should perform well when the time comes. It will greatly benefit your future. Pingyang Taoist said meaningfully. The journey to the Sword Tomb? Ripples stirred in Lin Yuan's heart. If it were someone else speaking, Lin Yuan might not have cared much. But Pingyang Taoist was a guardian of the Celestial Master Mansion and one of the 3 Celestial Phenomena Realm powerhouses. His understanding of the Celestial Master Mansion certainly far exceeded Lin Yuan's. Such a person stressing the pilgrimage to the Sword Tomb and advising Lin Yuan to perform well clearly carried a deeper implication. Thank you, Taoist Pingyang, for the reminder. Though Lin Yuan was unclear about the true significance of the journey to the Sword Tomb, he respectfully bowed to Taoist Pingyang. Over these 10 years, Pingyang Taoist had taken good care of him, especially when he was first brought to Mount Dragon Tiger. In addition to Taoist Chongqing's care, Pingyang Taoist had secretly used his celestial qi several times to cleanse Lin Yuan's meridians and marrow. Pingyang thought Lin Yuan was too young to know about this. But Lin Yuan, having descended in consciousness, was well aware of everything that happened since his birth. Chapter 34. Finally seeing the true martial. After the Pingyang Taoist left, Lin Yuan returned to his own Taoist temple. Sword Tomb. Lin Yuan pondered in his heart. The Sword Tomb of Dragon Tiger Mountain was where the Celestial Master Mansion's ancestors had stored their swords. The Celestial Master Mansion revered the true martial great emperor and had considerable achievements in sword techniques, with the supreme art Jinwu 7-section sword being the strongest sword technique of the era. If I remember correctly, the location of the Sword Tomb should be one of those places. Lin Yuan's heart stirred. The so-called those places naturally referred to the places that harbored an aura surpassing the celestial phenomena realm. They were also what Lin Yuan regarded with considerable wariness. Things will straighten themselves out when the boat reaches the bridge head. I'll know in half a month. Lin Yuan steadied his spirit and closed his eyes to begin cultivating. At the top of Dragon Tiger Mountain, True Martial Hall, Master Tsong Qing of the Celestial Master Mansion, with his hands clasped behind his back, looked up at the towering Zhenwu divine statue before him. In half a month, it will be the trip to the Sword Tomb. I wonder if any of the disciples of our Celestial Master Mansion's generation will be chosen by the true martial sword. Master Tsong Qing sighed. There were countless swords in the Sword Tomb of Dragon Tiger Mountain. Among them were the swords of the mansion's past disciples, past masters, past mansion masters, and even the swords of the 36 celestial masters. Of course, the most important was the true martial sword. It was said the true martial sword belonged to the first-generation celestial master of the Celestial Master Mansion and was related to the revered true martial great emperor. Hence it was named the true martial sword. Only those chosen by the true martial sword could take that step to become the new celestial master of the Celestial Master Mansion. 500 years. 25 trips to the Sword Tomb. Not a single disciple of the Celestial Master Mansion had been chosen by the true martial sword again. This had led to the position of the Celestial Master being vacant for 500 years. Even though the Celestial Master Mansion was still considered the ancestral home of the Taoist sect without a Celestial Master, no one dared to take it lightly. But in terms of high-end combat power, it ultimately fell short by a great deal. For decades, the Myriad Demons sect had been resurgent, causing untold slaughter. If the Celestial Master Mansion had a Celestial Master in this generation, would the Myriad Demon sect have the audacity? The Mansion Master need not worry, said a plump Taoist who had started to speak beside him. This plump Taoist showed no hint of his aura, yet he was a Celestial Phenomena Realm powerhouse, one of the 3 Celestial Phenomena Realm experts of the Celestial Master Mansion. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, half a month had gone by. On this day, Lin Yuan had just left the Taoist temple. He was immediately approached by a Taoist who came hurrying from the summit. "All Taoist boys under the age of 20, come with me," he said. The Taoist seemed to be in his 30s or 40s, but he was a 9th grade expert. In the current system of cultivation, it ranged from 9th grade to 1st grade, with 9th grade experts already at the peak of the middle 3 grades, and they could be regarded as masters in their own right at the foot of the mountain. "Is it time for the trip to the Sword Tomb?" Lin Yuan felt a slight move in his heart and obediently stood in place as the Taoist commanded. Soon enough, all the eligible Taoist boys in the temple had almost assembled. Lin Yuan took a quick glance around and estimated there were over 100. "Follow me. Don't fall behind, and don't run off," the Taoist ordered once he saw that everyone had gathered. His voice contained a hint of martial skills like sound waves, and all the Taoist boys felt a ringing in their ears, not daring to cause trouble. After half a day, under the guidance of the Taoist, Lin Yuan and many other Taoist boys arrived at a valley behind Dragon Tiger Mountain. There were already many other Taoist boys gathered there, presumably from the other 7 temples. "So many people," commented a slightly thin Taoist boy next to Lin Yuan, unable to contain his amazement. "Shanfeng, what are the masters bringing us here for?" The slight boy leaned closer to Lin Yuan and whispered. "I don't know." Lin Yuan shook his head. The thin Taoist boy was named Qingping, and he got along quite well with Lin Yuan. To be more precise, he looked up to Lin Yuan. After all, because of Chongqing's reasons, Lin Yuan had 2nd-generation status on Dragon Tiger Mountain and wasn't bullied, so he naturally attracted a group of young Taoist boys. Even in Dragon Tiger Mountain, the ancestral home of the Taoist sect, there would still be factions, and the young Taoist boys would naturally form small groups to stick together. Another half an hour passed. Another Taoist came quickly, holding several booklets in his hand. After distributing the booklets to each Taoist boy, the Taoist said, "The booklet contains a sensing skill. Everyone begin cultivating according to the sensing skill, and then enter the Sword Tomb in succession. Maintain the sensing skill continuously during this time, and look for a suitable sword for yourself in the Sword Tomb." The Taoist quickly finished speaking and then repeated it several times. After confirming all the Taoist boys understood, he went on to other places. "This sensing skill is so difficult," Qingping complained as he flipped through the booklet. The other Taoist boys were similar, working hard to grasp it. Sensing skill. Lin Yuan opened the booklet and quickly scanned through it. "Your perceptiveness is against the heavens. Reading Sword Intent Sensing Skill. You have comprehended Supreme Sword Sensing Chapter." In an instant, copious insights about the sword path and sword intent flooded in. Even Lin Yuan, who had already stepped into the celestial phenomena realm, spent half an hour absorbing it all. This sensing skill. Uncertainty flickered in Lin Yuan's heart. After mastering and elevating this perception technique, Lin Yuan faintly resonated with the nearby Sword Tomb. Atop the Sword Tomb stood a high platform. 3 figures were sitting there, looking down upon the Sword Tomb below. The leading figure was Master Chongqing, the current master of the Celestial Master Mansion. In the era without a heavenly master, the Celestial Master Mansion's master was the absolute authority. The one to the left was the unkempt Pingyang Taoist, and to the right was a plump Taoist. These 3 figures were indeed the 3 grandmasters of the Celestial Phenomena Realm from the current Celestial Master Mansion. The journey to the Sword Tomb. It's crucial for the birth of a heavenly master in our Celestial Master Mansion. Let's hope we won't be disappointed this time, Pingyang Taoist muttered to himself. From his perspective, he could clearly see everything within the Sword Tomb below. In the Sword Tomb, it's not only people choosing swords, but also swords choosing their bearers. Every sword that can be placed in the sword tomb contains sword intent. If one can cultivate the sword intent sensing skill to minor completion, one can sense many sword intents and possibly select a sword once worn by previous celestial masters. The plump Taoist spoke. As for why they didn't let the disciples practice sword intent sensing skill in advance. The sword intent sensing skill is not only about sensing but also a measure of one's own aptitude. If one can cultivate the sword intent sensing skill to minor completion within just a few hours, their swordsmanship aptitude must be extraordinary, and the sword they select will also reflect their true level. Besides, if one's swordsmanship aptitude is not up to par, even 10 years of practicing the sword intent sensing skill would hardly bring it to minor completion. As for the major completion level of the sword intent sensing skill, it has been a long time since it appeared in the Celestial Master Mansion. That is something only a prospective Celestial Master Seed could achieve, capable of being sensed by the Zhenwu 7-section sword. Half a day later, as the disciples began to enter the sword tomb and select the swords suitable for themselves, smiles gradually appeared on the faces of the 3 celestial phenomena realm powerhouses watching from the platform above. So far, 4 disciples had chosen swords once wielded by previous celestial masters. This meant that these 4 possessed the potential to step into the celestial phenomena realm. Additionally, 31 disciples chose swords that were once worn by previous mansion masters. Even if they could not become celestial phenomena realm cultivators, reaching the 9th grade realm would not be a problem for them. This scene filled Master Cangqing with immense satisfaction. Before the journey to the sword tomb, he had wished, albeit extravagantly, that a disciple might select the Zhenwu 7-section sword. But extravagant hopes were just that, hopes. With no one resonating with the Zhenwu 7-section sword for 500 years, why would it happen this time? Compared to this ephemeral possibility, the current outcome was more in line with the actual situation of the Celestial Master Mansion. As long as they could produce a few more celestial phenomena realm powerhouses, even without a heavenly master, there would be no major issues. No. These sword intents are all too weak. Inside the sword tomb, Lin Yuan was also selecting a sword. After elevating his sword intent sensing skill to the supreme sword sensing chapter, all the sword intents in the sword tomb were as clear to Lin Yuan as the patterns on the palm of his hand. And whenever Lin Yuan slightly exerted the supreme sword sensing chapter, he could sense that countless swords were sending eager signals to him. Those swords were extremely powerful to the disciples, but as Lin Yuan was already at the celestial phenomena realm, naturally he was not impressed. There is a path of sword intent over there. Following the resonance, Lin Yuan walked towards the depths of the sword tomb. Almost at the same time, the 3 celestial phenomena realm powerhouses above turned their attention toward Lin Yuan. Who is that person? Not selecting a sword properly and heading deep into the sword tomb. The plump Taoist furrowed his brows, speaking out. Is it Shanfeng? Pingyang Taoist recognized Lin Yuan, his expression equally puzzled. He indeed told Lin Yuan to perform well, but performing well didn't mean wandering around there. Moreover, deep within the sword tomb, sword qi was rampant, which could easily harm the disciples with sword qi entering their bodies, leaving behind problems. Seeing this, Master Cangqing was also puzzled. I'll bring him back. The plump Taoist saw Lin Yuan showing no sign of stopping and was about to go down to halt him. However, in the next moment, Lin Yuan looked solemn, raised his right hand, and plunged it into a pile of swords. Come out to me. Lin Yuan operated the supreme sword sensing chapter and began to draw out slowly. SSSSSSHHHHH. A faint frictive sound emerged. Then, under the incredulous gaze of everyone, inside the sword tomb, thousands of swords uncontrollably quivered. This caused the sword tomb to shiver, and the mountain behind the tomb quivered as well. Lastly, the entire Dragon Tiger Mountain trembled too. In the extreme northern ice field, a majestic man with golden eyes stood up abruptly, looking toward Dragon Tiger Mountain in shock. On a street, A fortune-telling Taoist in a Taoist robe was slowly hawking his services when he suddenly twisted his body, nearly falling over, much to the surprise of the nearby children. After all, the old master was one of the world's strongest. How could he stumble? But the Taoist's face showed an unfathomable look. The celestial master? In a desolate land, an old man, half buried in the earth, couldn't help but crawl out, his expression vacant as if in disbelief. At Dragon Tiger Mountain in the Sword Tomb, Lin Yuan's right hand slowly drew out a sword with a worn hilt and the words Zhenwu engraved on it. With Lin Yuan as the center, thousands upon thousands of swords trembled simultaneously. All the disciples of the Celestial Master Mansion were shaken and knelt toward the Zhenwu seven-section sword. 39 real people of the first grade from the Celestial Master Mansion bowed to Lin Yuan respectfully. Master Chongqing, this generation's master of the Celestial Master Mansion with strength at the Celestial Phenomena Realm, was at this moment tearfully overwhelmed. Dragon Tiger Mountain had not seen the true martial for 500 years. Today, true martial finally reveals itself to us. Chapter 35 True Martial Daozong. This sword. In the depths of the sword tomb, Lin Yuan gripped the hilt with his right hand. Even so, Lin Yuan could distinctly feel the sword slightly trembling. If it wasn't for the supreme sword sensing chapter constantly circulating in his body, Lin Yuan had no doubt that the sword would have flown away on its own. A mere object possessing such spirit? Lin Yuan couldn't help but marvel inwardly. If this were in the Cosmic Human Alliance, only spaceships made of biofusion technology comparable in value to a planet could possibly match it. However, no matter how spirited, it remains an inanimate object. Lin Yuan could sense that the sword's resistance was weakening. Merely moments passed before it stopped trembling and lay quietly in his hand. Only then did Lin Yuan turn to look behind him. The current lord of the Celestial Master Mansion, the chubby Taoist Master Pingyong, and two other Celestial Phenomena Realm Masters stood not far off, quietly watching Lin Yuan. To be precise, they were looking at the true martial sword in Lin Yuan's hand. Their expressions a complex mix of relief, shock, and reminiscence. Lord! A tinge of fear promptly appeared on Lin Yuan's face. He was about to bow in respect. No need. Master Chongqing stepped forward and lifted Lin Yuan up. Since you have been chosen by the true martial sword, you are this generation's true martial successor, and you will be the future celestial master of our mansion. Master Chongqing spoke solemnly. The journey to the sword tomb concluded. Lin Yuan did not return to the Taoist temple halfway up the mountain. Instead, Master Chongqing personally took him to a residence at the mountain summit. With Lin Yuan there were also 4 Taoist boys. From the casual conversations with Master Chongqing, Lin Yuan learned that the swords chosen by these 4 boys, even though not comparable to the true martial sword selected by Lin Yuan, were extremely impressive, having been left behind by past celestial masters of the mansion. They all held great potential to reach the Celestial Phenomena Realm. Brother Shanfeng, what do you think the Lord is doing? Qingping followed closely behind Lin Yuan. This little shadow, too, had been chosen by a sword left behind by past celestial masters, making him one of the 4. Don't worry, it must be something good, Lin Yuan said offhandedly. From the snippets of information occasionally revealed by Master Chongqing, Lin Yuan deduced that the 5 of them were certainly being cultivated as seeds by the Celestial Master Mansion. Especially Lin Yuan, who had been chosen by the true martial sword and directly named as the future Celestial Master by Master Chongqing himself. What did it mean to be a Celestial Master of the Celestial Master Mansion? Even after 500 years, the world still could not forget the terror of a Celestial Master. Whenever a Celestial Master emerged from the mansion, they were invincible in this world. According to Lin Yuan's understanding, the ceiling of combat power in this world was the Celestial Phenomena Realm. Perhaps a very few exceptionally gifted individuals could manage to step half a step or even a full step beyond the Celestial Phenomena Realm. But only the Celestial Masters of the Celestial Master Mansion could genuinely transcend the Celestial Phenomena Realm. This was why the Celestial Masters were invincible throughout the world. Even Lin Yuan was eager to discover what exactly allowed a celestial master to fully transcend that threshold. Considering his calculations to surpass the celestial phenomena realm, even with his against heaven's understanding, it would still take at least 50 years. But a celestial master, how could they achieve it? Could it be that every celestial master of the mansion possessed an against heaven's understanding like Lin Yuan's? That was clearly impossible. After Master Chongqing brought Lin Yuan and the other 4 to their residence, he reminded them not to wander around at night, then turned and left. Lin Yuan sat on the bedstead. He casually placed the true martial sword in front of him. By now, the sword had completely calmed down. This sword must contain the secret of the celestial master. Otherwise, Master Chongqing would not have acknowledged me as the future celestial master. Lin Yuan gently caressed the hilt with his right hand. At the same time, a faint flow of vital breath began to explore deep into the sword's body from the hilt. Boom! The scenery around Lin Yuan suddenly changed. He found himself in a vast darkness of void. To his left, not far away, was a sun-like fireball. To his right lay an abyss emitting an endless chill. The power of Taiyang and the power of Taiyin permeated the entire space. What is this? Lin Yuan's pupils slightly narrowed. His mind suddenly began to flood with spiritual light. Your understanding is against heaven. Witnessing the external manifestations of the forces of Yin and Yang poles deepens your grasp on the Tao of Yin and Yang. Your against heaven's understanding has deepened your comprehension of the Tao of Yin and Yang, as you observed the external manifestations of the powers of Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang. Your against heaven's understanding has deepened your comprehension of the Tao of Yin and Yang, as you observed the external manifestations of the powers of Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang. In an instant, a massive influx of insights flooded his mind. Lin Yuan was utterly absorbed, his focus entirely devoted to the powers of Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang on his left and right. He didn't know how much time had passed. Gradually, Lin Yuan opened his eyes. So that's how it is. So that's how it is. A sudden realization dawned on Lin Yuan. At this moment, he finally understood why the successive heavenly masters of the Celestial Master Mansion could surpass the Celestial Phenomena Realm. It was because of this true martial sword. Within the sword, the externally manifested powers of Taiyang and Tai-Yin were housed. This was a direct path leading above the Celestial Phenomena Realm. The successive heavenly masters of the Celestial Master Mansion observed the powers of Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang within the sword day and night. Constantly comprehending the nature beyond the Celestial Phenomena Realm, it was naturally not difficult for them to exceed that realm. 20 years. No, that's not right. At most a dozen years. I should be able to break through the Celestial Phenomena Realm. Lin Yuan's heart swelled with excitement. In truth, the powers of Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang in the sword, merely comprehending either would allow one to break through the Celestial Phenomena Realm. This was also the path taken by the historical heavenly masters of the Celestial Master Mansion. But Lin Yuan had great ambition and wished to cultivate both Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang simultaneously. Only then would the necessary time skyrocket. If Lin Yuan had chosen to comprehend one power alone, with his against heaven's understanding, it likely would have taken only a year or a few months to break through the Celestial Phenomena Realm smoothly. I was wrong. I was wrong. The method I used to break into the Celestial Phenomena Realm was mistaken. After Lin Yuan observed the essence of the powers of Tai-Yin and Tai-Yang, he immediately recognized the issue with himself. Years ago, Lin Yuan had quietly broken through to the Celestial Phenomena Realm. However, the foundation of Lin Yuan's entry into the Celestial Phenomena Realm mainly stemmed from his last journey through the martial world. It's not to say that was wrong. But breaking through to the Celestial Phenomena Realm in such a way would make the subsequent path more difficult to traverse. If I rooted my entry into the Celestial Phenomena Realm in the power of Tai-Yin or Tai-Yang, and then attempted the fusion of Yin and Yang to break through the Celestial Phenomena Realm, thoughts swiftly formed in Lin Yuan's mind. He decided to break through the Celestial Phenomena Realm again. If it were someone else, attempting to break through the Celestial Phenomena Realm again would likely mean ruining their cultivation and starting over. However, Lin Yuan possessed against heaven's understanding and quickly grasped a method that would perfectly convert his celestial phenomena realm's qi and strength into the power of Tai Yin or Tai Yang. Although there were losses involved, it was far better than starting over from scratch. This sword. Could it truly be that the true martial great emperor exists in this world? Lin Yuan's gaze once again fell upon the sword in front of him. The essence of the powers of Tai Yin and Tai Yang contained within the sword could guide beings to transcend beyond the celestial phenomena realm. The sheer power of its maker was unimaginably formidable. The next day, Lin Yuan gathered outside with 4 other Taoist disciples. Master Chongqing and 2 other celestial phenomena realm masters stood not far away. "All right, you 5 are the future hope of our celestial master mansion." Master Chongqing's gaze lingered briefly on Lin Yuan without trace. Clearly, in Master Chongqing's eyes, the other 4 were optional. As long as Lin Yuan, the future heavenly master chosen by the true martial sword, was present, that was enough. Nevertheless, due to the rules of the celestial master mansion, he brought the others along. "Next, I will take you to the true martial Dao Zong. That place is where the successive heavenly masters of our celestial master mansion have secluded themselves. Inside, the cultivation paths and realizations of the heavenly masters are recorded," Master Chongqing slowly stated. Upon hearing this, excitement appeared on the faces of the 4 Taoist disciples. At Dragon Tiger Mountain, the heavenly masters had been mythologized. Being able to go to the place where the heavenly masters once cultivated was something any Taoist of the celestial master mansion deeply desired. Chapter 36, Outraged. The true martial Dao Zong was built within the mountain of Dragon Tiger Mountain, hidden to an extreme extent. The inside space was large, with walls densely engraved with text. These characters were all written by celestial masters from various generations. They contain the essence of cultivation. You should not observe them frequently. Just gaze upon them occasionally. Otherwise, it will affect your cultivation, Master Chongqing reminded them. Aside from Lin Yuan, the other 4 Qingping had already crowded around, staring intently at the characters on the wall. It was only after Master Chongqing's reminder that the Qingping reluctantly shifted their gazes away. "Your main focus now should be on comprehending the fire pearl and the ice pearl." Master Chongqing led everyone to the center of the Dao Zong. There, 2 stones were placed, one with a reddish surface and the other with a deep blue surface. Faintly, a great amount of heat and cold emanated from them. These fire and ice pearls were formed from crystal stones from the deep depths of the East Sea, capable of containing and preserving various kinds of essences. The celestial masters of my celestial master mansion often infused their power into them. Accumulated over a long period, they have formed what the fire and ice pearls are today, Master Chongqing explained. Upon hearing this, Lin Yuan looked thoughtful. These fire and ice pearls must be a greatly reduced version of the power of Tai Yang and Tai Yin contained within the true martial sword. They were imitation artifacts that were attempted by celestial masters from generations past, in an effort to emulate the power of Tai Yang and Tai Yin. Unfortunately, whether it is due to the materials used or the vast difference in strength, even the fire and ice pearls crafted with the power of generations of celestial masters, when compared to the power of Tai Yang and Tai Yin in the true martial sword, they were still but the light of a glowworm compared to the daylight. This was Lin Yuan's first impression. As Lin Yuan pondered, Master Chongqing continued, "Your main goal now is to perceive the power of Tai Yang and the power of Tai Yin from the fire and ice pearls. The strong ones in my celestial master mansion usually take only 2 paths, Tai Yin pole extreme and Tai Yang pole extreme. Whether it's Tai Yin pole extreme or Tai Yang pole extreme, if you can comprehend 3 or 4 parts, you will be able to step into the celestial phenomena realm." Master Chongqing scanned the crowd and continued speaking. This was also the cultivational path set by the first-generation celestial master for the disciples of later generations. Indeed, this had proven that these 2 cultivation paths were very strong, and the celestial phenomena realm strength of the celestial master mansion was always a bit stronger than that of the external celestial phenomena realm. This advantage was due to the Taiyin pole extreme or Taiyang pole extreme. Even successive celestial masters took one of the paths within Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme. However, the celestial masters could contemplate the true essence of the power of Taiyang and Taiyin within the true martial sword. The effect was far stronger than the current fire and ice pearls, and thus they progressed much further on the paths of Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme. After finishing, Master Chongqing sent the 4 Qingping away. He then approached Lin Yuan. "You do not need to feel the fire pearl and ice pearl." Master Chongqing gazed at Lin Yuan, though he was unaware of the secrets inside the true martial sword. According to the records of the Celestial Master Mansion, the Celestial Masters who came to cultivate in the true martial Daozong, it seemed they were not much interested in the fire and ice pearls. Under such circumstances, the past Celestial Masters still led far ahead on the paths of Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme. Master Chongqing therefore surmised that perhaps the past Celestial Masters had other methods of cultivation. Mainly focus on the text on the walls. Those are the insights and contemplations of the Celestial Masters, which should be helpful to you. Master Chongqing's expectation for Lin Yuan was to be a future Celestial Master. Hence he made such a suggestion. "Okay." Lin Yuan nodded. The Celestial Masters of the Celestial Master Mansion were all beings who surpassed the Celestial Phenomena Realm. Their insights and contemplations were naturally useful to Lin Yuan. "If there's any issue or difficulty, you can call me." Before leaving, Master Chongqing specifically left these words for Lin Yuan. Clearly, he held Lin Yuan in high regard. In the following time, Lin Yuan did not leave the true martial Daozong. He was served food and drink by the Taoists of the Celestial Master Mansion. There was no need to go out. Indeed, even if Lin Yuan wanted to leave, he could only stroll around Dragon Tiger Mountain at most. The Celestial Master seedlings selected by the true martial sword, before becoming Celestial Masters, were forbidden from leaving Dragon Tiger Mountain. The main reason was to ensure the true martial sword did not get lost. The true martial sword was key for the Celestial Master Mansion to produce a Celestial Master. It absolutely could not be misplaced. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, more than half a year passed. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged in front of a stone wall. It was engraved with a plethora of texts. These texts were left by the 18th generation Celestial Master of Dragon Tiger Mountain. They narrated this Celestial Master's insights and contemplations on the path of Taiyang pole extreme. Your perception is incredible. Observing the Celestial Master's stone wall deepens your understanding of the Tao of Yin and Yang. Half an hour later, Lin Yuan opened his eyes. "I've finally fully transformed." Lin Yuan's face lit up with a smile. During this period, aside from comprehending the Tao of Yin and Yang, the remainder of his time was spent converting his previously attained Celestial Phenomena Realm's true power entirely into the power of Taiyin and the power of Taiyang. Using either the power of Taiyin or the power of Taiyang as a foundation to step into the Celestial Phenomena Realm, his strength would be 20 to 40% stronger than usual. This was only the initial change. In terms of potential and cultivation speed, both Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme surpassed other Celestial Phenomena Realm powers by far. Originally, Lin Yuan would have needed 50 years to surpass the Celestial Phenomena Realm. But after converting his foundation into Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme, even without relying on the essence of Taiyin and Taiyang from the true martial sword, the time to surpass the Celestial Phenomena Realm was reduced to merely 20 or 30 years. This saved him nearly half the time. "Shanfeng, how is your comprehension coming along?" Just then, Qingping hurried over. The fire pearl is too difficult to comprehend. I haven't figured out much yet," Qingping said with a disappointed face. "Take your time. Don't rush." Lin Yuan offered comfort. Qingping had chosen the path of Taiyang pole extreme, and thus was trying to comprehend the fire pearl. Although the effects of the fire pearl were far inferior to the true martial sword, having it was better than none. With Qingping's qualifications, recognized by the Celestial Master's sword, patiently contemplating it for years, would surely bear fruit. "Shanfeng, how about your comprehension?" Qingping seemed to think of something. looking at Lin Yuan with expectation. I have made some progress. Lin Yuan thought for a moment, then raised his right hand. A trace of the power of Tai Yin and the power of Tai Yang twined and collided between his fingers. Wow! Shanfeng, you are so incredible. Qingping's eyes widened. Although amazed, Qingping showed no hint of disbelief. For ever since that day within the sword tomb, when Lin Yuan held the true martial sword, all the Taoist children felt an irresistible aura emanating from him. Latterly, Master Cangqing reminded them several times not to compare themselves with Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan was the future heavenly master, destined to overlook the world. Comparing themselves with Lin Yuan might disturb their state of mind, making it very difficult for them to step into the celestial phenomena realm. So, upon seeing Lin Yuan controlling both the power of Tai Yin and the power of Tai Yang at the same time, Qingping merely marveled. The other 3 Taoist children also gathered around, their eyes blinking in envy. Half a month later, Master Cangqing and 2 other celestial phenomena realm masters arrived. They prepared to check the cultivation progress of the 4. First was Qingping, who tried to lift his hand, with a faint trace of scorching breath circulating. Not bad. You've made it to the threshold. Master Cangqing nodded. He too followed the path of Taiyang Pole Extreme and was particularly sensitive to the scorching breath of the world. Next were the 3 Taoist children. One of them managed to make it to the threshold on the Taiyang Pole Extreme path, just like Qingping. The other 2 still hadn't made it to the threshold. Taiyang Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme are obscure and difficult to comprehend. Even with the aid of the Fire Pearl and Ice Pearl, entering the threshold is no easy task. The essence of what Master Cangqing meant was to encourage everyone not to lose heart, to slowly perceive and steadily cultivate. After checking the cultivation progress of the 4 Taoist children, Master Cangqing's gaze fell on Lin Yuan. Not just Master Cangqing, but the other 2 celestial phenomena realm masters too. Lin Yuan had been chosen by the true martial sword, a seed of the future heavenly master. Among the other 4 Taoist children, 2 had reached the threshold in their comprehension of either Taiyang Pole Extreme or Taiyang Pole Extreme. What then could be expected from Lin Yuan, the most talented among them? Master Cangqing and the other 2 celestial phenomena realm masters were quite eager to find out. Master! Lin Yuan stepped forward, raising his right hand. Both the power of Tai Yin and the power of Tai Yang emerged, constantly colliding and intertwining, occasionally emitting an even deeper aura. Incredible! Shanfeng has grown stronger again. I wonder when we'll reach Shanfeng's realm. Seeing this, the other 4 Taoist children began to discuss among themselves. Among them, even those who had reached the threshold had only gathered the power of Tai Yin or the power of Tai Yang as thin as a hair, whereas Lin Yuan had gathered both to the thickness of a thumb. The difference was clear at a glance. What the Taoist children did not notice, however, was that as Lin Yuan was simultaneously channeling the power of Tai Yin and the power of Tai Yang, Master Cangqing's face suddenly turned grim. Who allowed you to simultaneously cultivate both Taiyang Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme? Master Cangqing's face even reddened with distress as he looked at Lin Yuan. Either Taiyang Pole Extreme or Taiyang Pole Extreme alone are paths to the heavens. But cultivating both is a path to death, a dead end. Yin and Yang are inherently opposing forces. You might not notice anything initially while cultivating both, but the deeper you go, the more troublesome it will become. The 3rd-generation celestial master of our celestial master mansion wanted to cultivate both Yin and Yang, introducing the power of Tai Yin into his body with his celestial master status, only to end up exploding to death. By doing this recklessly, have you considered the consequences? Master Cangqing was nearly driven mad with anger and couldn't help but reprimand Lin Yuan. Chapter 37 Tai Yin and Tai Yang. Inside the true martial Daozong, the voice of Master Cangqing, head of the mansion, echoed continuously with fury. The other 4 Qingping disciples' faces were pale, filled with fear. For such a long time, Master Cangqing had been strict with them, but had never lost his temper, let alone scolded them. Even when they had failed to master either the Taiyin pole extreme or the Taiyang pole extreme, Master Chongqing would just remark briefly, his words more encouraging than anything. Zhang Shanfeng, you were chosen by the true martial sword, an exceptional honor. Even I am not confident that I can teach you, so I had you read the insights and realizations left on the stone wall by generations of heavenly masters. Master Chongqing's voice was subdued. Among these insights and realizations, there was none that suggested you follow both the Taiyin pole extreme and the Taiyang pole extreme, right? Indeed, there wasn't. Lin Yuan nodded. All the celestial insights in the Daozong were singularly focused on illustrating either the Taiyin pole extreme or the Taiyang pole extreme. As for mentioning both, there truly wasn't any such case. Because through the generations, the Taoists of the Celestial Master Mansion likewise followed only one path, either the Taiyin pole extreme or the Taiyang pole extreme. Given that there was none, why did you take it upon yourself to assert otherwise? The path of cultivation is fraught with caution, forged by the lives of ancestors. Do you think you can alter it on a whim? Master Chongqing looked at Lin Yuan with disappointment. Shanfeng, with the recognition of the true martial sword, you need only follow the prescribed path, whether you choose the Taiyin pole extreme or the Taiyang pole extreme. In as short as 50 years or at most 80 years, you are destined to become a heavenly master. You are the hope of the Celestial Master Mansion, the hope of the world. We all had great expectations of you, but what did you do? A variety of emotions surged in Master Chongqing's heart, including anger, disbelief, and heartache, among others. The Qingping disciples were shivering with fear by the side. They, too, realized that Lin Yuan might have taken the wrong path in his cultivation. Otherwise, Master Chongqing wouldn't have been so infuriated. Lin Yuan was a seedling of a heavenly master. His faltering pained Master Chongqing more than if he had deviated into demonic paths himself. Taiyin pole extreme, Taiyang pole extreme, two completely opposing paths. You've already compromised your foundation by cultivating both. Even if you realize something is amiss in the future, do you think you'll be able to start over? Regret welled up in Master Chongqing's heart. He should have imparted this common knowledge to Lin Yuan at the beginning of his cultivation. Actually, it wasn't really an oversight. After all, for the vast majority of people, mastering one of the Taiyin pole extreme or the Taiyang pole extreme was already incredibly difficult. Even a genius with the talent to step into the celestial phenomenon realm like Qingping spent close to a year for a semblance of achievement. The difficulty of mastering the opposing Taiyang pole extreme after entering the Taiyin pole extreme would undoubtedly increase 10 to 100-fold. Therefore, it never crossed Master Chongqing's mind that Lin Yuan would cultivate both the Taiyin pole extreme and the Taiyang pole extreme simultaneously. Add to that the guidance from the ancestor Taoists' insights on the stone walls, which never mentioned the simultaneous cultivation of both Taiyin and Taiyang. Master Chongqing really didn't understand. How did Lin Yuan manage to merge Taiyin pole extreme with Taiyang pole extreme? I know. Lin Yuan's brow furrowed slightly. But I feel that cultivating both Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme is the truly correct path. His against heaven's understanding wouldn't deceive him. Since Lin Yuan was able to perceive Taiyang pole extreme and Taiyin pole extreme through his against heaven's understanding, the path ahead could not be a dead end. You feel. Master Chongqing almost laughed out of exasperation. Even commonplace knowledge dictates learning from history. For 6,800 years, 36 invincible heavenly masters of the Celestial Master Mansion paved the way for future disciples. And just like that, Lin Yuan nonchalantly denied it all? Perhaps taking 10,000 steps back. Combining Taiyin with Taiyang really is a great Tao that surpasses both Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme. But to fully traverse this path, countless generations will have to strive, making great sacrifices. Take for example the third-generation Celestial Master of the Celestial Master Mansion, who, upon becoming a Celestial Master, attempted to harness both yin and yang forces but met an end by self-implosion. To explore new paths, sacrifices are inevitable. Even Celestial Masters cannot escape it. However, Lin Yuan, having gained the recognition of the true martial sword, was bound to become a celestial master, there was absolutely no need to take this risk. Better to have one bird in hand than 10 birds in the bush. To forsake the position of an invincible celestial master in this world for a path whose future is obscure. This was the very reason for Master Tsongqing's fury. From today on, Shanfeng, you will stay by my side. I will temper your body with my true qi every day, attempting to erase the influence of the powers of Tai Yin and Tai Yang. Within 10 years, your foundations will be reborn, and thereafter you may resume cultivation. Master Tsongqing solemnly spoke after a long silence. Ha! The chubby Taoist beside him stared at Master Tsongqing in surprise. Even for a peak powerhouse of the celestial phenomenon realm, tempering someone else's body with true qi daily comes at a great cost, not to mention maintaining it for 10 years. To put it bluntly, for Master Tsongqing to make such a commitment, he was essentially ruining himself, not to mention that his cultivation might regress to the early stages of the celestial phenomenon realm, and at the very least it would shave off 20 years of his life. Brother, you? The disheveled Pingyang Taoist sighed deeply. Despite Master Tsongqing's rigid and severe demeanor, he truly stood from the perspective of the celestial master mansion. Lin Yuan was the first in 500 years to be chosen by the true martial sword, and even though he had taken the wrong path, Master Tsongqing hadn't given up and wanted to bring him back by all means possible. Master! Lin Yuan glanced at Master Tsongqing and shook his head. I still feel that embracing both Tai Yin and Tai Yang is not a dead end. If the master forces me to choose, I fear I will lose interest in the cultivation to come. Lin Yuan outright refused Master Tsongqing's offer. Mainly because if Master Tsongqing were to temper his body, Lin Yuan's secrets would undoubtedly be exposed. Furthermore, Lin Yuan didn't believe that cultivating both Tai Yin and Tai Yang at present was a mistake. Each moment of insight from Against Heaven's Understanding reinforced Lin Yuan's belief that this was a path surpassing all previous celestial masters. However, this was something Lin Yuan could not disclose to Master Tsongqing. Very well. This is your choice. Just don't come to regret it in the future. Master Tsongqing shook his head. As much as it pained him, he had no choice but to let Lin Yuan go. Cultivation is an extremely personal matter, especially since Lin Yuan had the recognition of the true martial sword. He couldn't force Lin Yuan to do anything. Shortly after, Master Tsongqing and the other three-peak celestial phenomenon realm experts left the true martial Daozong. Lin Yuan returned to the front of the celestial master's stone wall and began to ponder. He wasn't frightened by Master Tsongqing's words, since this was merely his consciousness incarnation. Even if he did meet his demise by exploding due to cultivating both Tai Yin and Tai Yang, it wouldn't harm his main body in the main world. In simple terms, Lin Yuan had countless chances to start over again. Moreover, Lin Yuan didn't believe he would follow in the footsteps of the third-generation celestial master. The third-generation celestial master forcefully introduced the power of Tai Yin as a celestial master, trying to merge it with the power of Tai Yang within his body. But the power of Tai Yang he cultivated for nearly 100 years was strong. To recklessly introduce a completely unrooted power of Tai Yin would lead to an imbalance of yin and yang, and it would be a surprise if his body didn't explode. Chapter 38. What the ancients dared not do, the later generations cannot achieve. Brother Shanfeng, are you all right? As Lin Yuan was gathering his thoughts, Qingping, the little Taoist boy, cautiously approached him. The other three little Taoist boys stood not far away, not daring to come over. I'm fine. Lin Yuan shook his head. Compared to the deceit and intrigue of the outside world, Dragon Tiger Mountain was much purer. The four little Taoist boys inside the true martial Daozong usually got along well with Lin Yuan. Now that Lin Yuan was being reprimanded by Master Tsongqing, not one of them ridiculed him. Instead, they all showed concern. Even Master Tsongqing himself, upon discovering Lin Yuan's stray into the wrong path, did not give up on him right away but considered using the body refining method to pull him back, even if this method was irreversible and harmful to Master Tsongqing himself. It must be the mansion master who got it wrong. When I try to comprehend either Taiyin Pole Extreme or Taiyang Pole Extreme, I find them so difficult. Brother Shanfeng comprehended both at once. That must be truly amazing. Qingping murmured softly. He wasn't lying. After barely entering the door of Taiyang Pole Extreme, Qingping tried to comprehend Taiyin Pole Extreme. He found the difficulty soared. Initially, when he had not entered either path, he could barely sense the power of Taiyin and the power of Taiyang using fire and ice beads. Once he entered Taiyang Pole Extreme, he couldn't feel the power of Taiyin at all. Not being able to feel the power of Taiyin, let alone comprehend Taiyin Pole Extreme. Therefore, cultivating both Taiyin Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme was seen by Qingping as an incredibly formidable task. Is that so? Lin Yuan smiled faintly. After chatting with the little Taoist boys for a few moments, Lin Yuan once again immersed himself in cultivation. To be precise, with his against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan had new insights and bursts of spiritual light every moment. Especially after observing the insights of past celestial masters on the stone walls. The celestial masters of the Celestial Master Mansion, while they did not cultivate the dual path of yin and yang like Lin Yuan, the insights of each master in their respective paths often resonated with Lin Yuan. Marvelous! The power of Taiyang can be used this way too. Lin Yuan sat in front of the stone wall of the first-generation celestial master, his eyes shining. After such a long time studying the stone walls, Lin Yuan categorized the past celestial masters of the Celestial Master Mansion into 3 levels in his mind. The first level was the first-generation celestial master. Without a doubt, the strength of the first-generation celestial master was the strongest among all the masters, leading the way like a sheer cliff. Especially in the path of Taiyang Pole Extreme, the first-generation celestial master could be said to have explored very deeply. Following the first-generation celestial master were the second-generation master, the third-generation master, the 15th-generation master, and the 28th-generation master. These 4 masters, although not as strong as the first, were clearly superior to the rest of the masters. In their respective paths of Taiyin Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme, each had considerable achievements. As for the remaining masters, compared to the first 2 tiers, they seemed somewhat ordinary. However, even the weakest master had strength far beyond that of the celestial phenomena realm, capable of dominating the world. My path should not be limited by the achievements of past celestial masters. I intend to surpass all of them. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, his heart exceedingly resolute. Just then, Lin Yuan's heart stirred, and he looked towards the entrance. Before long, a real person of the Celestial Master Mansion walked in briskly. Disciple Zhang, someone is looking for you. Even though Master Cangqing had given up on Lin Yuan or held him in low regard, Lin Yuan's status in the Celestial Master Mansion was still supreme. As a disciple recognized by the true martial sword, once he became a Celestial Master, he would be able to command the entire Celestial Master Mansion. Even if he didn't become the master, no one could give him orders, including the current mansion master. Uncle Cangqing? Lin Yuan walked out of the Daozong and saw the figure of Taoist Cangqing. Lin Yuan had great respect for Taoist Cangqing. After all, without him, Lin Yuan certainly wouldn't have survived, whether from freezing or starvation. Against Heaven's understanding allowed Lin Yuan to continuously break through his limits and comprehend various secret techniques. But it had its limits. As an infant, without food, even if he truly hibernated, he wouldn't last long. And Taoist Cangqing had a good relationship with Lin Yuan's father. Although he did not arrive in time back then, he had been very kind to Lin Yuan over the years. Shanfeng, I've heard that you've rather upset the mansion master? Taoist Cangqing looked at Lin Yuan with a gratified expression and casually said, I indeed failed to meet the mansion master's expectations. Lin Yuan replied with a nod. Master Cangqing's expectation for Lin Yuan was for him to become a celestial master, but Lin Yuan's own goal was to transcend celestial mastership. The mansion master usually keeps his emotions well hidden. To see you've irritated him like that, it's quite interesting. Taoist Cangqing laughed. Immediately after, Taoist Chongqing's expression became serious. Shanfeng, do you know why I came here today? Did the mansion master send you to persuade me? Lin Yuan guessed. Indeed, Taoist Chongqing nodded. The mansion master sent me to persuade you, hoping you would consent to the body refining, and then walk the path of a celestial master like all past masters. But now it seems I don't need to persuade you. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. You don't need to worry too much about being a celestial master or not. Chongqing went on, but then he seemed to remember something and fell into a trance. Years ago, when I was on good terms with your father and your mother was pregnant, I wrote to your father to ask what he hoped his son would achieve one day. Chongqing said softly, I assumed your father would say that he wanted his son to become a world-renowned hero or, at the very least, to inherit the Zhang family fort. But your father only hoped that you could live a happy life. In this life, we can either live happily or under constant pressure. The celestial masters of the Celestial Master Mansion have been invincible throughout the generations. But what is the difference now that they are dead and gone? What's the point of a legacy when a person is dead? Chongqing finally sighed and said, I only hope that you won't regret the path you choose in the future. Chongqing's words took Lin Yuan aback. He had originally thought Chongqing would be Master Chongqing's lobbyist. Instead, the other party spoke from his perspective. After Chongqing left, Lin Yuan once more plunged into his cultivation and sudden enlightenment. There were the insights and realizations left on the stone walls by generations of celestial masters. With his against heaven's understanding to deduce, Lin Yuan's cultivation speed was much faster. According to Lin Yuan's estimate, in at most 10 years, he would be able to elevate both Taiyin Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme beyond the level of the celestial phenomena realm. On this day, Lin Yuan was cultivating. A Taoist in a disheveled Taoist robe appeared silently behind him. Ping Yang. Lin Yuan's face showed a look of surprise, and he immediately greeted him. Compared with Master Chongqing, Lin Yuan was much more familiar with Taoist Ping Yang. Before the venture into the Sword Tomb, Taoist Ping Yang often chatted jovially with the Taoists from the Mountainside Taoist Institute, without any hint of the bearings of someone from the celestial phenomena realm. Impressive. To cultivate both Taiyin Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme simultaneously is something that no generation of celestial master has ever achieved. Master Ping Yang nodded slightly, expressing his admiration. Out of the 36 celestial masters of the Celestial Master Mansion, only the third-generation celestial master ever thought about cultivating both paths of yin and yang simultaneously. However, the third-generation celestial master only tried to incorporate the power of Taiyin after becoming a celestial master. And the result was not very successful. Lin Yuan had not yet become a celestial master, but he was already pondering over this matter and even putting it into practice, truly deserving of the true Marshal Dao Zhang's recognition. Thank you for the compliment, Uncle Master. Lin Yuan maintained a calm expression. However, have you thought about the road ahead? Cultivating both Taiyin Pole Extreme and Taiyang Pole Extreme might allow you to reach the celestial phenomena realm. But if you want to step into the celestial master level and surpass the celestial phenomena realm, you will need to transform your own primordial qi. Considering you tend to both yin and yang, once the transformation begins, the yin-yang power will repel each other, and you know what the consequences will be. Master Ping Yang reminded. The consequences would be the third-generation celestial master. He perished in a blown-up body. Uncle Master, regarding this matter, I have given it some thought. The reason why the yin-yang power repels during the transformation of the primordial qi is that they are not unified. If I can integrate the yin-yang power into a new force before that and break through the celestial phenomena realm once more. Lin Yuan revealed his own thoughts. This was also the path he had deduced after many days through his against heaven's understanding. Integrate the yin-yang power? You mean to merge Taiyin Pole Extreme with Taiyang Pole Extreme? Are you crazy? Two fundamentally opposite forces that can't even be practiced simultaneously, and you want to merge them. Taoist Ping Yang swallowed hard, truly frightened by Lin Yuan's idea. That would be like trying to merge fire with water. Ultimately, either the fire would be extinguished and water partly vaporized, or the water completely vaporized with the fire severely weakened. The more likely outcome would be both fire and water collapsing simultaneously, with no other possibility. You've really gone mad. Merging Taiyin pole extreme with Taiyang pole extreme is utter nonsense. Since ancient times, no one has dared to do such a thing. Even the first-generation celestial master couldn't do it. For generations to come, it would be impossible for anyone to conceive of this. Taoist Pingyang muttered to himself, looking at Lin Yuan with disbelief. With two extreme forces harmonized through the human body, there might be a slim chance to practice both, but to merge, that would be courting death. The ancients didn't dare to do it, and modern people couldn't achieve it either. Master Pingyang opened his mouth, wanting to say something else, but in the end, he swallowed his words. He could see that Lin Yuan was resolute, truly intent on merging the dual path of yin and yang. Ah! Master Pingyang sighed and turned to leave. Lin Yuan watched Master Pingyang's retreating figure. Then, he stepped out of the Daozong and came outside, looking down from above, overseeing the mountain below. The ancients dared not. The modern cannot. Lin Yuan lifted his head slightly, with the power of Tai Yin and power of Taiyang interlacing and clashing in his eyes. I will do it. Chapter 39 The Situation of the World. 8 years later, atop Dragon Tiger Mountain, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged on a massive boulder. Wish wish. The pitter-patter of raindrops fell from the sky, evaporating into thin air several yards from Lin Yuan's body. Lin Yuan opened his eyes, looking down at the drifting sea of clouds in the early morning. Taiyin pole extreme and Taiyang pole extreme may seem like two entirely different paths, but their essence is part of the vast universe. Taiyin can be transformed into Taiyang, and Taiyang can be transformed into Taiyin. Deep within Lin Yuan's Qi Si Dantian, the power of Taiyin and the power of Taiyang merged into a duo of black and white, constantly colliding, dissipating, and then rebirthing in an endless cycle. Over these 8 years, Lin Yuan had immersed himself almost entirely in comprehending the Taiyin pole extreme and the Taiyang pole extreme. He hadn't even progressed half a step in his cultivation realm. He was still in the early stage of the celestial phenomenon realm. For Lin Yuan, having mastered the Taiyin pole extreme and the Taiyang pole extreme, there was no difference between the early stage and peak of the celestial phenomenon realm. This true martial sword. With a slight thought from Lin Yuan, the true martial sword floated in front of him. The more he comprehended, the more Lin Yuan realized the terrifying nature of the true martial sword. It condensed the essence of both the power of Taiyin and the power of Taiyang into a single sword for future generations to comprehend, which was an inconceivable level of control. Without this true martial sword, Lin Yuan's progress in comprehension over the years might have been slower. Mastering the Taiyin pole extreme and the Taiyang pole extreme is not difficult, but to fuse them together is indeed as hard as reaching the heavens. For the ordinary, it means certain death upon contact. Lin Yuan thought to himself. No wonder Master Cangqing and other celestial phenomena realm masters considered it a dead end. Even for someone as strong as the celestial master, to dare such a feat was to court death, as shown by the case of the third-generation celestial master. As one of the 36 powerful celestial masters in the Celestial Master Mansion, ranked second tier, did the third-generation celestial master not know the consequences of forcibly invoking the power of Taiyin? I am different from the third-generation celestial master. The third-generation celestial master decided to pursue a path that balanced yin and yang after becoming a celestial master. But by that time, his foundation was already set. I am different. I have not yet stepped into the role of celestial master, and by balancing yin and yang, fusing them, it is entirely possible. Lin Yuan silently thought to himself. Of course, the entirely possible here refers to Lin Yuan, who possesses against heaven's understanding. For anyone else, even if they still had exceptional talents and were recognized by the true martial sword, to balance and fuse yin and yang would remain an elusive hope. Firstly, one must consider how to initiate into the other after starting with either the Taiyin pole extreme or the Taiyang pole extreme. Secondly, while balancing both the Taiyin and Taiyang pole extremes, how to fuse the two. In the process, Any slight mistake could result in a fatal explosion. Lin Yuan, with his against heaven's understanding, could grasp a thread of survival in any situation that was not destined to be fatal. The terrifying aspect of against heaven's understanding is the ability to comprehend the most beneficial methods for oneself, no matter what the circumstances. Just like 18 years ago, when Lin Yuan was still an infant on the brink of being discovered by beasts, he comprehended a technique to conceal his presence. On the verge of starvation, he comprehended a hibernation breathing technique. These two secret techniques didn't require any internal energy or qi. They were completely based on the circumstances Lin Yuan found himself in at the time. During the fusion of yin and yang, Lin Yuan faced countless crises, but each was overcome by the relevant secret techniques comprehended through against heaven's understanding. Just a bit more. Just a bit more. And with the power of Tai Yin and Tai Yang, I can break through the celestial phenomenon realm. Lin Yuan felt the continuous collision and intertwining of Tai Yin and Tai Yang within the depths of his Qi Si Dantian, anticipation hidden in his heart. According to his prediction, breaking through the celestial phenomenon realm with the powers of Tai Yin and Tai Yang would make him far more formidable than any of the celestial master mansion's past celestial masters. How could the individual powers of Tai Yin and Tai Yang compare to the combined force after merging? After scrutinizing himself, Lin Yuan's gaze inadvertently shifted beyond Dragon Tiger Mountain. These years, things have not been peaceful outside. In fact, ever since the Myriad Demons sect rose again more than 20 years ago, there has been little peace under the heavens. However, with the suppression of righteous forces such as the Celestial Master Mansion, the Myriad Demons sect dared not be too reckless. Nevertheless, 5 years ago, a message suddenly spread from the Myriad Demons sect. The sect leader of the Myriad Demons sect had obtained the heritage of the Primordial Demon Gate. The Primordial Demon Gate was an incredibly ancient force that, in theory, had long since perished in the annals of history. Ever since the establishment of the Celestial Master Mansion 6,800 years ago, the successive Celestial Masters of the Celestial Master Mansion had always been synonymous with invincibility. But invincible did not mean no one else could come close. 6,800 years ago, the first generation Celestial Master emerged, brandishing the true martial sword. That era belonged to the first generation Celestial Master. However, it was in that same era that another mighty figure was born. That was the Primordial Demon Lord. Although the Primordial Demon Lord could not defeat the first generation Celestial Master, the first generation Celestial Master was also unable to kill him completely. And so, amidst their ongoing stalemate, they each established the lineage of Mount Longhu Celestial Master's Mansion and the Primordial Demon Gate. In the end, the first generation Celestial Master sacrificed his life in a battle and finally killed the Primordial Demon Lord. But even though the Primordial Demon Lord died, the Primordial Demon Gate continued to exist. In the following hundreds of years, under the joint siege of the second and third generation Celestial Masters, the Primordial Demon Gate was finally utterly annihilated. In the ensuing thousands of years, the Primordial Demon Gate disappeared from sight and was never heard from again. The Celestial Master Mansion has not had a new Celestial Master for too long, a full 500 years. Without a new Celestial Master to deter them, demonic forces have developed rapidly, which is why we have the Myriad Demons sect today. According to the custom of successive Celestial Masters, the first thing each Celestial Master did after assuming the title was to descend the mountain to purge the demons, suppressing the demonic Tao. Now, with 500 years without a new Celestial Master, even though righteous forces like the Celestial Master Mansion still hold an advantage, it is undoubtedly giving the demonic Tao plenty of time to grow. Compared to the righteous Tao, demonic methods are easy to master quickly, and one can even rapidly improve by absorbing human essence and blood. This is also the reason why Zhang family fort was slaughtered. Apart from the fact that Zhang family fort possessed a large amount of wealth, it was also because of the sufficiently large population and even the presence of strong individuals. And these, in the eyes of demonic practitioners, were no different from delicacies. Regardless of whether the Myriad Demons sect really obtained the primordial Demon Gates heritage, the moment this news broke out, the reputation of the demonic path would certainly soar. Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. Speaking of which, he had his own grudge against the Myriad Demons sect. 18 years ago, when Lin Yuan was just born, the entire Zhang family fort was annihilated by the 8 helmsmen of the Myriad Demons sect. Lin Yuan's biological parents died on that day. Shanfeng. Shanfeng. Just then a calling voice came. A young Taoist came running over. I knew Shanfeng would be here. Upon seeing Lin Yuan, the young Taoist cracked a smile. It's Qingping. Lin Yuan turned around for a look. The young Taoist who had come up to him was none other than Qingping, the junior apprentice from those years past. 8 years had passed and Qingping had grown up a lot. Moreover, due to his cultivation, he was almost no different from an ordinary adult male. Chapter 40 Heartache. Over the years, Lin Yuan kept to himself. Yet he got along quite well with Qingping. Mainly because Qingping would often come over for small talk with Lin Yuan whether there was something to discuss or not. By the way, he would also mention various news from Dragon Tiger Mountain. Besides Qingping, Chongqing visited Lin Yuan from time to time. For Chongqing, Lin Yuan was no different from his own offspring. No matter whether Lin Yuan became a celestial master or not, Chongqing's attitude wouldn't change. In Chongqing's heart, there was always a sense of guilt towards Lin Yuan. If only he could have arrived in time back then, Zhang family fort might not have met such a fate. And Lin Yuan wouldn't have had to live a hard life on Dragon Tiger Mountain ever since he was a child. A few days ago, the sect leader ordered the 4 of us to descend the mountain for trials one by one, Qingping said casually. The 4 he mentioned naturally referred to the 4 Taoist children who were chosen by the Celestial Master to inherit swords during the trip to the Sword Tomb. Although they couldn't compare to someone like Lin Yuan who was chosen by the true martial sword, they were still the hope of the Celestial Master Mansion. As for why they descended the mountain one by one, it was to prevent extreme incidents, like the situation where all 4 might die at the same time. If, with Lin Yuan being a Celestial Master Seed that took a detour, the 4 Celestial Phenomena Realm Seeds were to die, Dragon Tiger Mountain would not recover for at least 50 years. Descend the mountain? Lin Yuan was somewhat curious. Having arrived in this world with his consciousness 18 years ago, Lin Yuan had only spent 1 day outside. The rest of the time, he had stayed on Dragon Tiger Mountain. Brother Shanfeng, as a Celestial Master Seed, you're different from us. You cannot leave the mountain, Qingping said, immediately feeling somewhat nervous. Now he was no longer the ignorant little Taoist boy. He understood the importance of a Celestial Master Seed to the Celestial Master Mansion. Only disciples recognized by the true martial sword could become Celestial Master Seeds of the Celestial Master Mansion. And each Celestial Master Seed was never without the true martial sword. If Lin Yuan were to leave the mountain, it would mean that the true martial sword would have to leave as well. If something unexpected happened and the true martial sword were lost, it would be an unprecedented blow to the Celestial Master Mansion. The current sect leader of the Celestial Master Mansion might spit blood on the spot from anger. A Celestial Master Seed like Lin Yuan taking a detour was indeed a serious matter, but it could not shake the foundation of the Celestial Master Mansion. At worst, when Lin Yuan died of old age, the true martial sword would return to the Sword Tomb, and the Celestial Master Mansion would still have the chance to give birth to another Celestial Master. But if the true martial sword was lost, that would truly be an irreversible catastrophe. Qingping could fully predict that if he caused Lin Yuan to sneak out, the sect leader, Master Chongqing, might even consider flaying him alive. Just kidding. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. He was not really an 18-year-old youth. In fact, considering all the time he had spent, Lin Yuan was probably over 50 years old. Moreover, with his against heaven's understanding, he did not need what was known as trials outside the mountain. For Lin Yuan, Dragon Tiger Mountain was the best place. There was food, drink, and unparalleled safety. Why would he even think about leaving? That's good. Qingping let out a huge sigh of relief. By the way, Brother Shanfeng, My recent cultivation has felt rather strange. After chatting for a while, Qingping broached the subject of cultivation. Lin Yuan casually asked a few questions and soon understood the cause. You're wrong. Your state of mind is wrong. You're following the path of Taiyang Wuji. Taiyang Wuji is the utmost rigid and yang. Out of the 36 past celestial masters of our mansion, the majority followed the path of Taiyang Wuji, including the strongest first-generation celestial master. What is Taiyang Wuji? It is the utmost rigid and yang, unyielding and unstoppable. Recently your mindset hesitates, looking forwards and backwards. Continuing to cultivate Taiyang Wuji, naturally you feel that everything is strange. Lin Yuan pointed out the problem directly and spoke slowly. It's not to say that those who follow the path of Taiyang Wuji are all rash, but that kind of indomitable spirit and decisive character is required. So that's how it is. Qingping suddenly understood. Indeed, he had been quite stirred by the thought of descending the mountain for trials, wanting both to see the outside world and fearing potential dangers. Now, after Lin Yuan's reminder, his state of mind started to clarify. Qingping only felt the qi within his body flowing smoothly, and a hot current surged through his limbs and bones. 9th grade. After a short while, Qingping opened his eyes, his expression excited. Taking advantage of Lin Yuan's comment, he had managed to break through from 4th grade directly to 3rd grade. It must be known that, in this world, cultivation levels are divided into 9 grades. The 9th grade is the lowest, while the 1st grade is the highest. Being at the 3rd grade, he was already among the upper echelons, even when considered amongst the powerhouses of Dragon Tiger Mountain. Many thanks to Brother Shanfeng for the guidance. Qingping bowed deeply to Lin Yuan. He was aware that without Lin Yuan's words, not to mention breaking through to the 3rd grade, he might have regressed if he continued as he was. No trouble at all. Lin Yuan waved his hand, unconcerned. At his current level, giving pointers to a cultivator who hadn't even reached the celestial phenomena realm was too simple. True martial hall. Master Tsong Qing rubbed his brows, his expression revealing a hint of fatigue. The myriad demon sect was constantly causing trouble outside, and the key issue was that the celestial master mansion couldn't do anything about it, only able to join forces with other orthodox powers to suppress it as best they could. Moreover, the sect leader of the myriad demon sect had obtained the heritage of the primordial demon gate, which greatly boosted the morale of the demonic Tao forces. This resulted in a series of encounters between orthodox and demonic Tao forces, all ending with the orthodox forces being defeated. The multitude of pressures was indeed making it hard for Master Tsong Qing to catch his breath. It seems that the sect leader of the myriad demons sect truly is a remnant of the primordial demon gate. The previous generation celestial master had discovered traces of the primordial demon gate while traveling the world, but was unable to find the source. At the time, we thought it was a coincidence, but now it seems that the remnants of the primordial demon gate were already there at that time. Over the years, the myriad demon sect has been secretly supported by the remnants of the primordial demon gate. The hefty master beside him spoke up. As Dragon Tiger Mountain was the ancestral home of the Tao, and the Celestial Master Mansion the foremost authority under heaven, their intelligence capabilities were naturally not bad, quickly figuring out the details of the myriad demon sect. It's too late to discuss this now. Master Tsong Qing shook his head. Right now, the most important thing was how to continue suppressing the myriad demon sect. At that moment, a figure ran in from the outside. It was Qingping. Master, I have reached the 3rd grade. Qingping's tone was light-hearted as he shared the good news. As the celestial seed of the Celestial Master Mansion, Qingping and the 3 other Taoist children were always directly taught by Master Tsong Qing. Whenever any of them made a breakthrough in cultivation, they had to inform Master Tsong Qing at once. 3rd grade. So soon. Upon hearing this, Master Tsong Qing slightly furrowed his brows. It wasn't that he didn't wish for Qingping to break through, but he was worried that Qingping had used some rapid, but unsafe method. According to the cultivation speed of disciples from past generations who received the Celestial Master's sword, reaching the upper 3rd grade took at least 15 to 20 years. But since Qingping started his cultivation, it hadn't even been 10 years. His rate of cultivation was clearly abnormal. The foundation is solid. I see no problems. The hefty master stepped forward, carefully examined Qingping for a while, and concluded. Hearing this, Master Congqing's brows finally relaxed. Qingping, what's with your rate of cultivation? Master Congqing was still somewhat astonished. Master, it's because Shanfeng gave me pointers that I was able to break through so quickly, Qingping honestly explained. Before this, although Qingping often received guidance from Lin Yuan, his speed of cultivation was only somewhat faster compared to the other 3 Taoist children. It was still within normal limits. So Master Congqing did not question it, thinking that Qingping was just very diligent. But this time, jumping from the 4th to the 3rd grade normally requires 5 to 8 years. Qingping's effortless advancement naturally caught Master Congqing's attention. Shanfeng gave you pointers. Master Congqing's tone was somewhat astounded. A few casual pointers were enough to enable Qingping to step into the 3rd grade, which meant that his strength must far surpass the 3rd grade. Even most cultivators in the celestial phenomena realm might not be capable of achieving this. Yes, Shanfeng has been guiding me over the years. He's really powerful. Every word he says enlightens me, and then Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.